r/AskReddit. People who hate people, what do you do for a living? TLDR worked as a bank teller. People are just awful. Why I hate people. As with any customer service job, you don't just feel tired or fed up with people at the end of a long, terrible day. You feel exhausted. You feel drained. You feel defeated. It's not that bad to have someone upset because their bank account was overdrawn, or that someone's card was declined, or that someone locked themselves out of their online banking. It's when it happens day in and day out, day after day, week after week with the same repeat offenders. You have people calling you up and screaming at you because they couldn't use their debit card for an online purchase because they blew through all the money in the account. You get the same people who are severely technologically disabled and lock themselves out of their accounts every 2 to 3 days, and you need to spend 40+ minutes minimum to reset it for them and have them pick a new password with the same exact criteria as the last one, to have them forget. Some people get so mad when you ask for identification when they want to withdraw money from their account. The worst though is when people blame you for all their problems. Did they overdraw their account and get fees? Your fault. They can't cash their check because they're late on paying their loan? Your fault. It's mentally and emotionally draining to have people 30, 40 years older than you yelling at you because they can't manage their own money. Of course, there were people there that made the job worth it. I helped a lady manage her accounts through her husband's death, and she hugged me when I was leaving. But the bad days outnumbered the good, just like the poopty people outnumbered the non-poopty people. I'm a letter carrier. I see my coworkers for 2 hours tops, then I'm out on my route. I learned sign language, so if I run into a customer I don't want to talk to, I start signing, and 98% of the time they just go, "Oh," and walk away. I'm an environmental scientist. I spend my days walking the woods, taking samples, doing surveys. I have a coworker who I partner with regularly. We can work 10 hours together and say maybe 50 words to each other. It's ducking great. My hatred of people comes from multiple avenues. Retail and food industry jobs, mixed with the pure idiocy people walk around with. Case in point, Walmart has their parking done in one-way rows. Spots are all slanted so you can't park correctly if you come down the wrong way, and have arrows at either end of the row indicating which way to go. As I wait for my wife to get off work, almost daily I witness people come down the incorrect way and almost caused accidents. On the food industry side, I work as a pizza delivery driver, and I cannot tell you how many times I've delivered to kids only to have them stiff me by counting the money their parents gave them and taking what would have been my tip for themselves. One kid got busted when his dad called the store after I had been there and asked how much the kid tipped me. When I told him the cent change, he just said and hung up. 2 hours later, he was at the store forcing the kid to cough up what he took out of the money. The dad helped save what little respect I had for humanity that day. I'm a tree planter. It's ideal. 6 months of 9-hour days, alone with my thoughts in the wilderness. The rest of the year I spend traveling alone or in my pottery studio. Planting has afforded me the pleasure of spending 12 months of the year away from people who suck. Teacher. Don't hate the students. I hate everyone else involved. Edit. It's funny that everyone assumed I was talking about the parents. In my experience, the parents seem to trust me a lot and are pretty hands-off. It's the administration that I'm referring as everyone else involved. Quote, I think it becomes less about what's best for the student the more zeros there are on your paycheck. That's why I fight the good fight and stay in the classroom, where I genuinely believe I have a shot at making a difference. Edit 2. Oh poop, someone gave me gold? Cool. WTF do I do with it? Edit 3. What do I do with these awards? I am a medical lab scientist. I despise small talk or any long periods of interaction, really lol. It just completely drains me of my energy. Most of us MLS or MLTs are all introverts, so it works out nicely. We all respect each other's privacy and don't push boundaries. I always hated when employers would force bonding activities or when patients would say one thing to ruin your whole day. I used to work directly with patients. Then one day I took a tour through the lab and saw all these wonderful nerds listening to their earphones, working independently, analyzing specimens and just doing their thing. And I was like, me. I want that. And so I did. It's great. Plus I can still do what I love. Help people smiley face, just not directly. Hidden behind the safety of lab doors with no angry patients lol. I'm one of the country's US top bite work trainer. I provide canines for anyone from celebrities to law enforcement and train new K9 officers. Basically I hate people so much I train dogs to bite them. I would hate people less if everyone wasn't so needy, self-centered or try to use me as a way to escape their own boredom. I'm a software developer who also helps in customer support. People claim 911 if their link is slightly the wrong color. People say, yes I tried doing X and it didn't fix the problem. So you log in and check X and it immediately did fix the problem, so they obviously lied about having tried it. People blame your software for doing something that slows down their site. Then you find out they actually added their own custom code that's responsible for the slowness. People are baffled your software doesn't have X feature because it's such a huge deal, but actually no one has ever asked about that feature until now. People don't understand why you can't add this feature because it's so simple. But actually adding that one simple thing would add a ton more testing and overhead moving forward. I work in a factory. I can keep to myself completely. Clock in, work, clock out, leave. Perfect. I'm there for a paycheck, and it's exactly what I get. I teach online. I still interact with the kids I'm teaching, but the not being in the same room with them definitely helps my anxiety, and I almost never have to deal with stupid people. I'm a medical coder. I used to be a people person, but after working for 10 years as a receptionist at a doctor's office I was about to burn the place to the ground. I still work for the same doctors, but now I am in a small office all by myself 1 day a week and only come out as needed. Every other day I work from home. It's perfect for me. I still get to do medical office work which I like, but I also don't have to talk to a soul and I make decent money. Plus, the doctors all love me and treat me like a goddess since they've known me my entire adult life, and I get them all their money. My husband hates most people too and works at the same office performing sleep studies on people, so he works graveyards with 2 patients a night, and once they are in bed he doesn't have to talk to them for hours later. I work from home as a web developer. I literally have days go by without having to interact with people other than my husband, and it's ducking heaven. I service alarm systems in various government buildings and schools. I work alone most of the time unless we're doing an install. It's nice. I don't really hate people, I'm actually very friendly. But I find interactions with people stressful and tiring. So I usually just sign in, grab my keys, and head to the equipment closet. Healthcare. Okay, before you start yelling at me, just let me explain. I always treat my coworkers and patients to the best of my ability. Of course, when you are in a high-stress and emotionally draining job, these people are not nice to me. I am not one of those people who take out the stress on my patients or coworkers. I am just emotionally drained by the end and do not want to deal with other people. I get yelled at by everyone. I have had a patient tell me to kill myself at one point. It hurts when your best is not enough. I wish I could make my patients' illnesses and pain go away, but I can't. But that does not mean I deserve to be treated like dirt. I hate people who do not treat me with human decency, but I still do my job. Please, please, please treat healthcare workers and everyone else with respect. I understand that you are probably having one of the worst says of your life. You don't have to smile and pretend everything is okay, but do not go out of your way to make my life poop. I have a side hustle delivering groceries. I work completely by myself without even answering to anyone. Only have to deal with the customer for like 2 minutes while you drop off their stuff. I work in animal care. Thankfully the people I work with are lovely, I guess because we all love animals. Prior to this, I worked in retail, which did nothing to improve my opinion of people in general. Software developer. Anytime I have to directly talk to a client, I need to sit and do slow breaths for a while before responding. Because often what I want to say is, you're a ducking dumbass that doesn't even know how to communicate clearly, and your poopty behavior is probably just because you hate yourself and have zero idea what goes into the code that you depend on to get through the job you hate. But I do the breaths and instead I say, can we arrange a call so we can come up with a clear plan? I take care of about 600 parrots. I work alone and set my own schedule. I get to listen to music all day and read during my lunch break. I love its smiley face. I'm a counselor for the developmentally disabled. Most of them are horrible people. And get away with murder for being special. I was okay with humanity, until I worked a job in a call center. I'm perfectly fine with the world burning at this point. I'm a chemist. Most of my work is solitary, and when I do need to collaborate with another scientist, our conversations are about science. Doesn't get much better than that.